Hi everyone. I've been reading this article by a man named J. Lee Grady on the charismanews.com website called Seven Things That Prove God is Real. Now I know this guy probably believes and he thinks his arguments are convincing, but anyone who thinks about it for just a second and doesn't just take a superficial view of the world can see that these arguments are not convincing. So I'm not going to read the article. I mean, I'll go over the points that he makes, the seven arguments, and tell you what I think about them. The article itself, he goes about talking to Mary O'Hare and how he was never debated in high school, but his faith, still my faith is certainly not shaken when I hear these guys whining about how stupid or weak Christians are. And in fact, his arguments kind of prove that point. But here's the first point he made: babies. Now he's talking about how DNA in a single cell is a very complicated thing, and that's why babies prove that God is real. I mean, part of it says, let's see, well, how can anyone deny the reality of God when they see a baby? Incredulity there, but the fact is, this is not convincing. I mean, we have perfectly natural, explanations for DNA, how, for childbirth and all that stuff. So, I mean, I don't find this convincing at all. The second one, thunderstorms. Now, he seems to equate thunderstorms with miracles. As, I always think of miracles, I think unexplainable, but thunderstorms are explainable. I mean, we have meteorology after all. I mean, we know that it's caused by temperature differences and barometric differences, change in wind patterns. So to call it a miracle when we can predict the weather fairly accurately, it's no longer a miracle. Also, he talks about the Goldilocks zone, the habitable zone within a solar system, and that somehow proves God. If anyone knows even a little bit about accretion and how the solar system formed, this also is no longer a convincing argument. Then the third one is flowers, and how he talks about how there are more than 400,000 species of flowers. Now, when you think about that, how many of those are caused by or man-made actually? Like tulips and so forth that are cultivated by crossbreeding varieties and all that. Then there is the Bible. He says that this is proof of God. No, no. He chooses the Bible because he's Christian, and that's the scripture he uses and likes and believes in. But the fact that the Bible was written is not proof of God. It's no more the proof that God exists than the Quran is proof that Allah exists, or the Bhagavad Gita proves that Shiva exists. It's silly because the Bible is a claim, it's not proof of the claim. I mean, so much we've proven have been, so much in the Bible is proven to be false, just downright false. Now, the fifth one is the global spread of Christianity. Again, this is not a convincing argument because right now Islam is also spreading globally. Does that mean that Islam is right because they're spreading? The fact that Christianity has spread all over the earth is not proof that a God exists. His sixth argument is Jesus. Now, I tend to be a mythicist, so I don't actually believe that a guy or a single guy existed that would conform to what is described in the Bible about Jesus. But he still uses that as an argument. I mean, just because he believes in Jesus, that Jesus existed, and that he did these things and he raised from the dead is not proof that God exists. It's proof that you believe that God exists. His personal relationship with God is the seventh. reason. You know, people claim to have relationship with God, but what does that really mean? I mean, can they prove that this relationship exists? You might as well be describing an imaginary friend, because until you can prove God actually exists, that's what it is an imaginary friend. So, like I said, I'm not convinced by any of these. I can't see how anybody who even thinks about these things for a moment can really find these arguments to be convincing. Um, that's my take. I will talk to you later.